Good afternoon, everyone. It is now 4 o'clock, and I'd like to welcome everyone to the Richland County Transportation Ad Hoc Committee meeting for December 16th, 2021. At this time, we will now call the meeting to order. Madam Clerk, would you please take the roll?
Yes, sir. Malinowski.
Here.
McBride. Here. Livingston.
Here.
Overture Walker.
Here.
Mackey. Here. We have a quorum.
Thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 2, approval of the minutes. Any edits or suggestions with respect to the minutes?
Motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, motion's been made. It's been moved to properly second. Any discussion? There being no discussion, Madam Clerk, you take the vote, please.
Malinowski.
Yes.
McBride. Yes. Livingston.
Yes.
Overture Walker.
Yes.
Mackey. Yes. Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda. Are there any additions to the agenda, Director Maloney?
No, sir.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
So move. Second.
All right, it's been moved properly second. Any discussion? And there being no discussion, Madam Clerk, you take the vote, please.
Malinowski.
Yes.
McBride. Yes. Livingston.
Yes.
Overture Walker.
Yes.
Mackey. Yes. Motion passes.
All right, thank you. Next item on the agenda is item 4. It's the 2 items for action. We'll begin with item 4A, which is the Dirt Road Package M. Director Maloney, would you care to elaborate regarding this particular item?
Yes, sir, Councilman Walker. Thank you. This item is a Dirt Road Package M, which includes a series of dirt roads where we are getting regular calls from citizens on this road as far as getting this done. The low bidder, or the low responsive bidder on this is McClam and Associates in the amount of $999,087.69. And we'd like to add a 15% contingency of $149,863.15 to that, for a total amount of $1,148,950.84. This project did have a lower price bidder that was non-responsive, and in your packets we had outlined various documents that indicated why, particularly through page 8. Page 8 shows there was a return correspondence on that. This particular bidder had put out hard copy through the mail, and most of these don't have a return receipt. They were put out just days before the bid opening, and that, in my experience, is no way to put together a team. It should be done earlier, and so their good faith effort was not accepted by the county, and they were only achieving 5%, and I believe the percent on this was over 7%, and the responsive bidder that we're recommending met the goal.
Director Maloney, before I open the floor for any questions, I just want to acknowledge just a few of our colleagues that are present, Councilwoman Gretchen Barron, as well as Councilman Derek Pugh, as well as Vice Chair Yvonne McBride. Any questions from the committee regarding this item?
Move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Well, I actually have a question, Director Maloney. I noticed that there's 8.5 SLBE participation on this project, and maybe help me out here. But how do we know, or when is it that SLBE participation is required on certain projects? And here's why I asked the question. For the first item in this packet, there's SLBE participation that was required, but for the second item in the packet, SLBE participation was not required. So just kind of help me understand that process, if you will.
Okay, we have the Office of Small Business Opportunities with us.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Erica Wade, the manager for the Office of Small Business Opportunity. So the way we come up with the goal, we look at the scope of work that is sent to our office by transportation, and we look at the scope of work, compare it to the number of SLBEs and the type of work that they can perform, and that's how we come up with the goal. And once that is done, and in order for us to do that, we meet with the PMs to make sure that we're actually setting goals are as interpreted correctly, and that's how we come up with the goal. There's a unified measurement that we use that.
Ms. Wade, does
Yes.
every project require SLBE participation, or does that requirement vary from
It
project
varies
to
from
project?
project to project.
Okay, all right,
Right.
thank you. Ms. McBride, you're recognized.
Yes, Mr. Chair. I saw Ms. Wade. So if it varies from project to project, would you explain again, how do you know which project it is?
Well, once a scope of work is given to our office, first of all, sometimes we may get correspondence from procurement, and they would say, hey, we have this project, can you guys look at it to see if you have SLBEs? And we have to have a minimum of 3 in each part of the scope of work to determine whether or not we can even set a goal on these projects. So if there's nobody in our directory that can actually perform any of the work, then we don't set a goal on the project.
Do you see all the projects coming in? Do you see all the projects coming in to determine whether they will qualify or not?
At this moment, I don't see all of the projects.
So how are those that are not submitted, how is that determined? Through the procurement office, they look at and decide that they don't meet the criteria?
And they do, and just to let you know, if there's a DBE project, because we don't set goals on DBE, we won't set goals on those particular projects. Those won't come those. Those are SCDOT projects, those are federally funded projects, so OSBO will not set goals. DBE always supersedes county.
I was just trying to determine how.
Yes.
I can also add to that on this particular one where we have the second item that doesn't have it. That is professional services for on-call engineering for CE&I. We don't have the office. We don't have small businesses that are involved in that.
Hi, Jennifer Ladishkin, Procurement Manager. Actually, for the OETs, when we did a request for qualifications package, we did request their SLBE participation at that time, and that was an evaluation factor that was weighted in their total scoring, and so we included the participation from their qualification. We don't specifically set goals, but they established a team to include SLBE participation. And then your question regarding how we determine which projects we send over to the Office of Small Business. If it's CTC funded, federal grant funded, SCDOT funded, we do not send those because we can't have low geographic preferences in those projects. So we don't send those over. And then we also have projects that we know that we don't have SLBEs for. So for instance, like food service at the detention center, we know that we don't have a vendor on the SLBE list that would be able to perform that, so we wouldn't send that to the Office of Small Business. But we try to send all of the projects over that we think may have SLBE participation, and we also periodically receive the updated lists from the OSBO office, or we'll look on the list online to look for potential SLBEs.
Okay, so basically you have a criteria set where you can look and say, well, I know that, for example, food service, they don't have any SLBs.
Correct.
So you have that list that you use.
We use their list. Yes.
Malinowski, you recognized.
Hey, Mr. Chair. This goes back to the comment about this list in SLBEs. Are the bidders advised that this list exists and to refer to it and try to get these companies on board prior to submitting their bid? How does that work?
For each project, we have a pre-bid conference, and OSBO is represented, and they review where they can find the SLBE list, and they also do a good job of trying to make sure that any SLBEs that are present are introduced to the prime contractors that are present, so that they can exchange information at that time, which is early in the bidding process.
Questions or comments from my colleagues? Ms. Barron, you recognized.
I don't want us to get bogged down here, but this may be a good work session for us to have to understand this process. So Ms. Wade, please, could you explain a little bit further if there is a category where we are lacking participation, what your office is doing to ensure that we fill those gaps?
And that's one of the reasons why we've actually put out a major campaign. We're looking at the areas that we do have lack in. We got our business license, all the businesses that are registered in Richland County, and we've been sending out correspondence, letting them know we're here, telling them about our certifications. Even when we have our workshops, even if it has nothing to do with certifications, we still promote the program. We let them know at that moment, hey, these are a list of projects that could be potentially coming down. If you're in that category, come in and see us so we can get you certified. So we're always promoting the office. Everywhere we go, we talk, drink, sleep, OSPO.
Thank you.
Additional questions or comments from my colleagues?
Chair, if I could just add to
Yes,
what
Ms.
Ms.
Radiskin,
Wade
you recognize.
stated. We also have a fairly new e-procurement system, and what we're doing is as the OSBO office adds SLBEs, we're reaching out to them to have them register online. What that allows them to do is express interest in a project as it's advertised, and so the primes can then see that information also to know what SLBEs are interested in being a subcontractor.
Okay, motion on the floor, and Madam Clerk, will you take their vote, please?
Sir. Malinowski,
No.
McBride. Livingston,
Yes.
Overture-Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
All right. Next item on the agenda is item 4B, which is the Atlas Road and CE and I and materials testing. That's also an action item. And Director Maloney, you care to elaborate on this one as well before the committee?
Yes, sir. This is the section of Atlas Road that's going to be widened to 5 lanes between Garner's Ferry Road and Shop Road. It's a large project. That construction will be ready for bid sometime in the spring, early spring, and so we want to get the on-call engineering lined up for that, and that's what this does. So in procurement of this, we're recommending the award of the engineering and inspection and the materials testing work to FM&E for Atlas Road in the amount of $1,179,994, and we recommend a 15% contingency in the amount of $176,999.10 for a total amount of $1,356,993.10. This project will last at least 1.5 years, so that accounts for us looking at the pricing in comparison to other like projects.
Mr. Maloney, questions or? Malinowski, you recognized.
Is this something that was bid out, or if it's not, was there a reason?
We have 3 on-call engineers for this, and
Automatically go to them?
it goes to one of them, yes, and we go through their ranks on different projects.
Would it be harmful in any way if it were bid out without using those individuals?
Go ahead.
These are engineering services, and so they, by law, can't be awarded based on price. And so that's why we have the qualification list, and then transportation negotiates a fee that they feel is fair and reasonable.
And the last question I have is, I said, it seems we've gone to 15% contingencies when previously it was a lot of 10%ers. Is there a reason that, we're going to 15%, and then out of these 15% contingency fees we put in, about what percent is normally taken by these folks?
We would have to look that up to
All
see,
right.
you know, past history on that.
Mr. Chair.
Questions? Recognize Ms. Mackey.
All right, gonna make a motion to approve.
Second? Second it. Discussion. Discussion. Madam Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Malinowski,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes?
Livingston,
Yes.
Overton Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Mr. Chair? So I just have one other question, if I may. For both of these items, we have given approval tonight via committee, and wanting to know about the pricing and how soon you would need to get full approval from council on this to move forward. I know we're at the end of the year and not sure how long some of these contracts or what it looks like for you guys to be able to execute. We don't want to slow you up at all.
We should have until your next council meeting, but I understand that there may be some delay in getting to that because of the recess.
So is there, I guess, how long does, you have a 15, 30-day? Is there a day or time limit on any of these to ensure that we have these same prices?
Yeah, procurement's using 120 days, so that's adequate for pricing.
Well, before we entertain a motion, any other questions? All right, I entertain a motion for the next item on the agenda.
Adjournment?
Second. Right, second. Right, any discussion? See that there is no discussion. Madam Clerk, take the roll.
Malinowski,
Yes.
McBride,
Yes?
Livingston,
Yes.
Overton Walker,
Yes.
Mackey.